Welcome to Dorking Out. My name is Sonia Mansfield, and I'm reminding you to eat your cereal with a fork and do your homework in the dark. Joining me is my podcasting sister from another mister and the co-host of Dorking Out, Margo D. Hello, my friend.
Hello, and remember, I can smell a fart. I can smell a lie like I can smell a fart in the car. God damn it, I blew my line. Anyway.
Do you want to redo it?
No, I'm good.
Forget it.
We'll do it live.
Fuck it, we're doing it live.
What does play us out mean? That's not a word. That's our Bill O'Reilly impression.
Yeah, fuck Bill O'Reilly. If the show is sounding different to you, it is because we're on Spreaker now. We're on a network because we're so fancy. It's very, very exciting. The show is growing, and we're just very, very happy. So it might sound a little different, but we are finally dorking out about 1990s Pump Up the Volume. It's happening, people. This is not a drill. This movie was requested all the time, and we would basically end every episode saying, like, release Pump Up the Volume, you cowards. Like, we were dying to do it. I think the first request we got from Kristen, who co-hosts How Was Your Week, Honey? Was the first one to request it. And then we got a ton of requests for Pump Up the Volume. So, Kristen, it's finally happening. We are dorking out about Pump Up the Volume. It is streaming on HBO Max, and it is written and directed by Alan Moyle. And it stars Christian Slater, and introducing Samantha Mathis, who I love. Ellen Greene, Mimi Kennedy, Cheryl Pollack is in there. Is it Layla Slotman as the friend?
Lala.
Is that how you pronounce it? Lala?
Mm-hmm.
Lala.
She was married to Chris Robinson of the Black Crowes. Yep.
That makes sense to me, actually.
I think so. Yeah, she's 6 feet tall. I was like, that is a tall drink of water there. Yeah. She has beautiful hair.
Yeah, she is a cutie. And one of the Zappas is in there. Ahmet Zappa. Yeah. And they're related in real life. Like, they're cousins.
They're cousins. Yes.
But they played boyfriend and girlfriend in the movie.
I know.
They don't make out or anything, you guys. But
no.
But they're clearly dating or something. Anyway, let's start how we always start. Did you see Pump Up the Volume in the theater?
Did I, and how? It opened on a Friday in August, and I drove to the Crow Canyon Cinemas in San Ramon, California, and I went to like the first showing of it. I was so excited, and it was like me and 2 other people.
I also saw it in the theater because it was playing at my theater. I saw this movie many, 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 many times. I was in love with this movie when it came out, and the soundtrack was, I just listened to it all the time. I had a really big crush on Christian Slater.
Who didn't?
Right? If you didn't, I feel sorry for you.
No, he's adorable. Everybody drink. He, because I think Heathers had come out maybe the year before, I think. Mm-hmm. And I mean, he was just on a roll. Like, Christian Slater could do whatever movie he wanted, and I was like, yes, I will pay. Gleaming the Cube.
He could do Gleaming the Cube. He could do Cuffs. He could do whatever he wanted.
Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, and say, fuck me.
Yeah.
And get a big laugh. Yep.
Yes, and I would show up at the theater going, take my money. Like, I would see it because I really loved it. I still love him. I still love Christian Slater.
Mr. Robot, he was great.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen Pump Up the Volume, I can't believe you're listening to this. So you should go to HBO Max and watch Pump Up the Volume and come back. This is a movie about Christian Slater's from, like, I think he's just from some big city. He's moved to
New York.
Yeah, and he's moved to a suburb in Arizona. Mm-hmm. And his father bought him a shortwave radio so he could talk to his friends back east. His dad's not very smart.
The parents here are there's this movie called Over the Edge, which is all about like teens and their parents are absent from their lives.
Yes.
It's this constant theme from our like childhood and teenage years.
is like, parents don't care. They're just like tuned out, and they don't notice us. They don't sense how special we are. And you're older, you're kind of like, they're just doing the best they could. They were middle-aged and tired, and
totally
we were annoying. Yeah.
There definitely is like a Generation X, a Gen X, like latchkey kid. Mm-hmm. We had way more unsupervised time.
We didn't have the internet.
We didn't have the internet. So you were out fucking around. You're doing whatever. So every night at 10 p.m., Christian Slater's character, Mark, gets on his shortwave radio and he's putting on a radio show. He's like he's doing a pirate radio station, and all the kids in the school are catching on, and they're like recording it and they're passing it between each other. And he's playing a character named Happy Harry Hard-On.
He's a teenage boy.
Because he's a teenage boy.
Who probably listens to Howard Stern every morning.
Yes.
Or did when he lived in New York. So this is what he's doing.
Yeah. And it's also like the school's initials. It's like Hubert H. Humphrey High School or whatever. I don't know. Fuck it. But that's the initials. And he starts every show with Everybody Knows by Leonard Cohen, which I'm pretty sure this was my introduction to Leonard Cohen. I was like, who's that? Like the voice.
Same.
It's just, damn, so good. And he does his things where he's pretending to jerk off, and he reads letters from other students, and if they include their number, he calls them. And one of the people who writes in is Samantha Mathis. How fucking gorgeous is Samantha Mathis?
That skin, just in and of itself, with those beautiful blue eyes, like, oh my God, she's stunning. She's beautiful.
So beautiful and so fucking cool. Like, she's just so cool in this movie. She really is. And I tweeted a picture of Samantha Mathis and her friend, Lala, walking together. And I imagine this is what you and I would have looked like in high school. Like, you would have been all black, and she's wearing, and the friend is wearing all floral and pink with the glasses. And
when we hang out with each other, it's the same thing. Nowadays,
it is. Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. But she's so beautiful, and I actually really like her character. Like, she's really smart, and she knows what she wants, and she doesn't fuck around. I like her.
Yeah, and the school that they're at, it's in Arizona, so it's mostly white. There's a few kids of people of color, but mostly it's like we said, it was this thing about teenagers are despondent and they're not being listened to, and everything cool already happened already, and oh my God, the 80s sucked and we're stupid, so what's going to happen in the 90s? It's all this angst, very angsty.
Yes.
And he plays great music on his station. I'm always like, wow, he has a really clear signal. It goes pretty far, and he never has a problem getting it.
No.
But he's, and the kids like him. And we forgot to mention, like, the teachers at the school are being pressured by the principal that in order to be the excellent school that it is, they have to get rid of the kids that are slacking, that they think of as slackers. So there's this whole subplot about the principal being in on it with other people. Like, if the kid's failing in something, you just kick them out. There's just no other alternative.
So the subplot is that the principal, played by Annie Ross, Principal Loretta Crestwood, such a principal name, is flagging all the students that are not performing well on tests. There's also another one, a teenager who's pregnant, who talks to the guidance counselor, David Deaver. The counselor, such a guidance counselor type, born to play a guidance counselor, this guy. And just they collect the money for them to be in the school, but then they're kicking them out of the school so they're not negatively impacting the test scores. And it's all about, like, the school's reputation. And of course, Christian Slater's father is like the new school commissioner. And here's where I'm like, okay, his parents are real dumb. The radio show he's doing, he clearly has access to all kinds of sensitive paperwork about the inner workings of the school.
Yeah.
And he's broadcasting them clearly on a shortwave radio. And if they listened to the show for more than 5 seconds, they would probably have a pretty good idea it was their kid. And they don't.
They never walk in on him. He's making a racket. Like he's imitating jacking off, like super, super loud. It's like movie fake orgasm loud. And it's like, and he's making, like I said, jumping around and playing the Beastie Boys and all this stuff. And they never, ever check on him.
And the dad's just like, there's some kid that's just bashing the school. And it's so weird because it's a really good school. But I guess he goes there and he has access to all these memos and he's got a shortwave radio. But I'm sure it's not my kid.
He's calling the teachers as part of the show.
It's like so stupid, but it's fine. Who cares? Like, it's not really about that. Like, I don't watch this movie for
the parents.
For the parents, exactly. I watch it for the teenagers because so early 80s, most movies about teenagers were like your Porkies.
Right.
You know, and then you get like a Breakfast Club, which is it has like serious tones about like how much it can suck to be a teenager. And then we get a lot of kind of rip-offs, and then you get Heathers, which is chef's kiss, like such a good movie, and he's so good in it, and Winona Ryder's so good in it. But most movies about teenagers weren't about like bullying and trying to fit in and the pressure of being a teenager. Most of them were sex comedies.
Right. Your after school specials would be more about bullying, but it would be very diluted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's the pressure of your grades and like fitting in and doing the things that good teenagers do, like get girlfriends and go to college and all this stuff. But there's also this other subplot of a kid who's gay and he's being bullied and how they tease him. And these are things that they were absolutely not talking about in these movies. Like, I don't think there were any gay characters.
No, they didn't exist.
No, unless you're talking Revenge of the Nerds.
Or it's an AIDS thing, you know.
Or it's about exactly.
AIDS. Like that's the only representation that we got.
Yes.
And so it's I like that too, because he was treated very respectfully.
Yes.
There's also a kid that's like just super depressed.
Yeah.
And Harry,
sad.
It's horrible. And Harry tries to talk to him, and Harry doesn't realize that this kid's really gone. And you know, and it's funny because he did the movie Heathers, which was making fun of those teen suicide movies. And then and there it's treated as a comedy, and here it's very serious, of course. But that's when the teachers start realizing, like, we got to find this Harry Hard-On person because he's now causing harm. And Ellen Greene is like the cool teacher that listens to the show.
I love
When
Ellen
is she
Greene.
not great? Oh, Suddenly Seymour, please.
God, she's so good.
Oh, we have to do Little Shop of Horrors one day.
Yeah, we do. Okay.
That is one of my favorites. Yeah.
I'm writing it down right now. Right now, Little Shop. Got it. I love her. And I love her in this movie. It's a small part, but she is playing that cool teacher that has a good sense of humor. And I think everyone's probably had that teacher. I think she did I just like her.
She's quirky and different. And there's just something offbeat about her, and she looks like somebody that would be a teacher that would be in a writing class and and the kids would respect her because she's never condescending.
Yes.
And she's like, she talks at their level. So she's so of course she's going to get fired.
Yeah,
she's got
to go.
She's got to go. But so what happens is that the feds the media gets interested because the parents blame hard on Harry or whatever the hell his name is. Harry Hard-On?
Yeah.
But
Happy Harry Hard-On.
Happy Harry Hard-On killed their son, basically. And so they're upset. So then the Shep Shepherd goes as a local TV reporter, reports about.
Is that Shep Shepherd?
That was his name. I thought Shep Shepherd.
You're probably right.
That was the reporter, I thought.
Okay. I believe you.
That stuck out to me for some reason.
I'm sure you are right.
Yeah. But anyway, so he's the reporter that's chasing the story. And we should say, oh, God, the gorgeous redhead, Cheryl.
Cheryl Pollack.
Cheryl is this pretty girl that all the guys notice, but deep down she's really upset. And she's not the stuck-up twat that everybody thinks she is. She's really cool. And
twat. There's a word that's not used nearly enough.
Not on this show. Sorry, I'm introducing it. I'm bringing it to the vernacular. I'm appealing to all of our British, fans.
I'm into it.
But she's not. She's actually, she also played the model Marla Hanson in that TV movie, which was the real story of the model that got slashed in the face by her super who was stalking her. Yeah, she played her in the TV movie.
Oh my God, I totally forgot about that. Yeah.
I used to love those TV, but we've talked about that before. Yeah. But so she puts all of her shit in a microwave because Harry Hardon is like, blow up your shit.
Yeah.
Scream. It's his, network moment. So she busts her face up by putting her pearls in the microwave.
Oh my gosh.
But all the kids are like, God damn it, right on. And they're all putting like signs around the school, tagging the school buildings and stuff to kind of show that they love Harry Hardon.
Yeah. And he's, if once again, like if they listened for more than 5 minutes, they would know that he's not the problem.
Right.
He's helping a lot of these people be their authentic selves or admit the problems that they're having instead of just pretending everything is okay. And the stuff with the boy Malcolm who kills himself, that shit is really fucking sad, and it's handled really well in the movie. It's not, and I actually like the show he does after that, because there's this kind of, will he go on the air? Like maybe there's too much heat right now and he won't. And he goes on and he talks about how, killing yourself isn't the answer. And he wishes that he had said, don't do it.
Right.
Been very explicit. But then he also does this whole thing about like, it's not that great. Like, first of all, you're going to shit your pants when you do it. And like, it's just this really fucked up thing that like teenagers would say. I like it.
People use weird sick humor to deflect.
For sure.
I think you and I use that quite often.
Yeah, we do.
So I get that, and I liked that as well. I like that Mimi Kennedy, I love her in things, but she's not given much to do. She plays his mother, and she's concerned about him, but also doesn't go to the room, doesn't check in on things. Samantha Mathis, I don't know what her family situation is, but she's completely smitten with Harry and like does the thing where she like encircles him, like basically like, you're gonna ask me out, like she just completely, but she eventually, because she's so beautiful, he has to and they have an extended kissing scene, sort of.
There's once again, Nora, very smart, knows what she wants, and she wants to figure it out. So like she talks to him at the library. He's so awkward. He can barely carry on a conversation, and she rules him out. But she listens to the show every night, and she's taking notes on her little dry erase board, and she just starts
sits at lunch on stairs at lunch.
Or like the fact, like the cherry diet Pepsi and the gum that he chews, and all these things. And it wasn't very hard for her to put it together. And she does, and she confronts him. And of course, he's super awkward and weird, and because he can't talk to her. And they kind of have this weird scene where like she shows up at his house and like he's shirtless. So then she takes her shirt off, and they kind of circle each other and slow dance kind of to Why Can't I Fall in Love, which is by, I'm going to look it up because
Aaron Neville.
Ivan Neville.
One of the Neville brothers.
And I think that song is awesome. And I just remember being so in love with that song back in the day, but they don't do anything. She puts her sweater on and splits.
Yeah. He just doesn't know what to do, and I don't know what his deal is, but okay. Fine. He's shy. He's bashful.
Yes.
Whatever. But so the kids are getting rowdier, and they're starting to openly like be defiant to their teachers, and their teachers, of course, like there's the one that just grabs kids off the bus and throws them into the principal's office.
such a good asshole.
Such a douchebag.
Such an asshole. He teaches gym and like loves to beat up kids, which he does in this movie.
He teaches driving. He's the driving instructor and he makes the kids miserable and freaked out. Yes.
So the kids are starting now to gather, I guess, on the football field or on some field at the school. That's where they get the best reception. And they're all starting to hang out together. There's also a thing where, like, at one point they're all running around and they have this, like, giant penis that they're like, and I was like, where'd they get that?
Their sex shop.
I'm like, what's going on in that town? They just got this giant penis that they could run around with. And they're starting to realize that they all have more in common than you think. Like, there's more to them than their clothes and their grades, I guess, as they start to spend more time listening to the show and listening to what he's saying. And, you know, so on top, that's all the stuff like that I super connected to because I was like 19 when this came out. Like,
right.
I was like right out of high school. Like, all of that shit's going to click for me. And then watching it now as someone who creates these podcasts with you, I enjoy it on this other level of you're creating something because you like doing it, and then kind of how it takes. You get fans, and it like takes a life of its own, and like
right.
What people do if they're inspired by your words or that community that you build, which we have done with Dorking Out and our other podcast, What a Creep. Like that stuff also works for me on a level that obviously at 19 it didn't work for me, but I like it.
I liked the cassettes. That was like my room, and it had like Soundgarden and Beastie Boys. Like I was like, yes. Henry Rollins. Like I had all that shit. A part of me also, it appeals to me because I'm like, August of 1990, and I want to yell at the screen, you're gonna have Nirvana in a year.
Yeah, just wait.
Get psyched.
It's coming.
It's gonna be awesome. Pearl Jam, like it's gonna be amazing. You'll love it.
It is capturing like a little moment in time. This movie, it's like right before Nirvana blows up and changes everything. But the soundtrack is so good. So you have the Leonard Cohen song, and then it's redone by Concrete Blonde. I loved Concrete Blonde.
Me too.
Ivan Neville.
That drives people nuts.
Cowboy Junkies is in there.
Yep.
Soundgarden.
Pixies.
Yeah, the Pixies, Bad Brains, and Henry Rollins. There's the Descendants, the like, welcome to the Wiener Schnitzel. Can I take your order? Which made me laugh so hard back in the day, and it still makes me laugh. There's the Was Not Was. Hi, Dad, I'm in jail. I'm calling you from jail.
You had the soundtrack, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I loved the soundtrack. I listened to it all the time. Like I said, this movie might be...
You were on board with it.
It might be in my DNA, this movie. Like, all the beats are super familiar to me. Like I said, the only thing that hit me different now is the idea that you create something that creates its own community and takes on a life of its own. Like, but back in the day, I watched the shit out of this movie, and I like I said, love Christian Slater, and I just thought Nora was so cool, and I love her and her friend making fun of the suicide hotline where it's like, I want to kill myself, but it's after 3. I guess I'm totally fucked. It feels real to me. It feels like that's what kids would do, and that's what they would say. There's also, oh, damn it, Max. There's also a parent-teacher conference. As someone who occasionally goes to parent-teacher conferences, they're never that interesting. I want you to know. No. But every once in a while, someone does stand up and say something like really stupid that turns into like, won't someone think of the children? And you're like, ugh. Lady,
especially nowadays.
Seriously, lady, just shut the fuck up. And actually, I bet if you go to some parent-teacher conferences now, they're super interesting because someone's going to show up and be like, I'll never wear a mask and neither will my kids. And
look at this key. It's like magnetically attached to my chest. Watch.
I fully admit I live in a bubble here in San Francisco, so I'm not seeing that here. But a parent-teacher conference in Arizona might be a totally different ballgame. I would probably go to those, actually, just to watch.
It happens everywhere now, unfortunately. Yeah.
I used to, when I was a reporter, used to go to like city council meetings, board of supervisor meetings, planning commission meetings. And I know most people are like, boring. Not boring. Fucking, it's a shit show. And like, people just, some people are just, I don't want to use, some people are very quirky.
They're very passionate about their beliefs.
They're very passionate about their thing. And you never know what they're going to be passionate about. And they're very entertaining.
When I used to belong to a food co-op, it's pretty famous if you type in Google Park Slope Food Co-op. Mm-hmm. For being a wackadoo place. It's been around for like 45, 50 years. It's like one of the longest co-ops in the history of the U.S. And for a while, before we got things like Fairway and like Whole Foods and decent supermarkets, it was like the best place to go. And you have to work a shift. The thing is, you have to go work a shift, and you're supposed to go to meetings. Mm-hmm. And I would do my one shift, which is like barely like sitting in a chair and ringing people up. That's all I could manage. But every once in a while I would go to the meetings, and it was batshit because you have people that are like it's supposed to be a progressive neighborhood.
Yes.
But you would have like ultra conservative with ultra liberal just yelling at each other.
Oh boy.
And when the Park Slope Food Co-op decided to start selling beer, shit went down. Because they're like, you're just doing this for the money. They're like, well, yeah, we have to make money to keep things going. And if we're just selling to adults, but one person said, this is not fair to people with addiction problems. And it's like, well, we're not opening a bar. And it's
also don't buy it.
Yes, exactly. It's like that level. People get into things there. And I'm not even going to say like the really dicey stuff, but it's just, oh my God. Yeah. So people just love a meeting.
Yeah. The big ones that always turned into literally a shit show was I used to go to Parks Department meetings too for work. And inevitably it would turn into people who were like, they didn't want dog parks in their parks. And so it was, I need a place for my kids to play where there aren't dogs. And then other people who are like, I need a place. San Francisco, a lot of people don't have backyards, and our parks are like our backyards. And so they're like, we need off-leash dog areas. And so these people would lose their shit in these meetings, like yelling at each other. Like one woman, like apparently would go around and like pick up dog poop and like put it in other people's cars. She would like throw shit at people, like literally throw shit at people. Like, I was like, what the fuck? Like it was a thing. And it happened like every time I went to one of these meetings.
We had that
crazy.
We had similar thing in New York and in Brooklyn is the installation of bike lanes.
Oh yeah.
And we were basically going to become Russia to some people. Like, what are we doing these bike lanes? Oh my God. But where are we supposed to park our cars? And there's used to be an elderly facility, and it's this prime spot near Prospect Park, and the old people fucking hate bikes apparently. Like they would show up in force. And then bike people are kind of nutty, and I have friends that are bike people, but some of them are a little intense. Now, what's happened is they've made the room for bike lanes both ways, and guess what? Traffic's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. And it's actually a new way for people to get to work that's healthy and stuff. But, the divisions. Like, you're basically a filthy hippie if you wanted a bike lane. Like, you're just a child. You don't know how the world works. And blah, blah.
I wrote a blog post once on thesoniashow.com, not even like a newspaper, like my blog, about how they were going to put fencing up at this big park in San Francisco. It's like Dolores Park. It's like in the center of the city. It's really sunny. Like everyone loves Dolores Park. And they put a children's playground in there, and they were going to put up some like fencing around the park. And parents were losing their shit because they were like, why should we have to put a fence up around a park? Like, we shouldn't just allow dogs in the park. And so on my blog post, I was like, or maybe like it's a shared space. The park's not just for you. It's a shared space. Like maybe we put up the fence so that your kids are safe from the dogs, and the dogs are safe from your kids too, by the way. I don't want my kid running around a dog park.
Right.
Just like I wouldn't want my dog running around a kid park.
No.
And you wouldn't believe
Actually,
the
I
names.
would like to see that.
The names people called me in the comments. It was just like, you're stupid bitch. Fuck you. Brr, brr, brr. You would have think I would have been like, we should kill kids. Let's just kill them and have more dogs. Blah. Like people, I was like, I literally have a kid and a dog. Like,
right.
I'm on everyone's side here, and everyone's like, I'll kill you. You have to die. Like, people are bananas.
They are.
So, where were we?
I forget. We were talking about the soundtrack.
Yes.
And we should say that the kids, there's a big thing at the end where all the kids get together.
Yes.
And Harry Hard-On kind of signs off because he realizes the jig is up.
Yeah.
And he should probably quit doing this. But the kids, man, like they've been activated. They're awake. Here we are now, entertain us, right?
Yes.
And there's a big show and he gets arrested. Like what happens to Harry?
Yeah. So first of all, the FCC is involved now. So they are there.
So
they are there with their trucks, and they're trying to get the signal of where he's broadcasting from. So he sets up like a remote broadcasting station in his mother's Jeep. So now I assume his mother knows what's happening at this point and that she's trying to help him out, but we are kind of denied that scene, which is fine because the movie's an hour 40 and it shouldn't be 1 minute longer. It's perfect.
No, it's
just the
perfect.
way it is.
Yeah.
He gets Nora to drive, and once again, I think Christian Slater and Samantha Mathis have really, really good chemistry, and
they were dating at the time.
This should not surprise me.
Yeah. Yeah. And he couldn't drive because he had too many DUIs.
That's
why he
right.
walks everywhere. I'm like, why are you walking in Arizona?
Yes.
Nobody does that.
By the way, we're
hot.
not even talking about the character at this point. We're talking about Christian Slater.
No, Christian Slater had too many DUIs. He couldn't get a license in Arizona.
Yes.
And they couldn't film it any other way. So they just had just fuck it. Just have him walk everywhere.
Yes. But so she's driving, he's broadcasting, and eventually, like, they get caught, and there's this slow motion thing where he's like being taken to the car, the police van or whatever, and she's with them now because she's an accomplice, and the crowd is everywhere, and we see all the kids, and he does the whole like talk hard and I actually like it. Like she pulls him into the car, and like they look at each other, and I don't know, there's just something about it that I think is really cute. They're going to jail together. I don't know. I truly believe those characters are in love, and I'm like, they're still together in my head.
I was just going to ask you, are they still together though, Sonia? That's the question.
They
30
are.
years later.
They are in my head. What do you think?
No.
You are wrong, and I am right.
They're having a fling. It's great. But they're children. They're kids. They have to get out in the world.
They might break up at some point and see other people, but I think they'd get back together. I'm sorry. These are the stories I tell myself in my head. I really like them. So I love this movie, obviously. It's dated in that it's about a radio station, but
yeah.
I think if you replace the radio station with like any kind of social media, YouTube, podcasting, whatever, like I think it still holds up.
Oh yeah, I mean that culture still exists.
Yes.
It's just like you said, it's on our phones now, or
Right.
it's yeah. I mean, but that whole idea of like finding your people and finding someone who speaks to you and challenges you and changes you, and music and how that can affect people and bring people together, all that good stuff. And teachers, like some teachers being assholes and
Yeah.
some are great, and
Yeah.
most are in between.
Yeah, and the teachers in here, they're not all bad either. Like Ellen Greene
No.
is super smart, and she's the one that starts figuring it out too. Even that guidance counselor, where I'm like, he's such a pussy, but even he is like, they're just kids.
Right.
know,
Like what are we doing here? Yeah.
I feel like even that character who at first comes across as a real, he calls him a slime. He comes across as a slime. Even at the end, you're like, his heart was in the right place.
Right.
He was just doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong.
You're doing it wrong.
Yes.
We should say it wasn't a big hit.
Mm-mm.
I don't know if it was released at the wrong time of year, or I don't know. It just, for some reason, it didn't really. But I think over the years, it's become a classic.
Yeah.
And it's something now that people ask for all the time.
Yeah. Look at oh my God. It made $11.5 million. That's like nothing.
That's nothing.
That's like the catering budget for a Marvel movie.
It was me and you and a couple other people. That was it.
That's it. It played at my theater, but I have to say, I don't think it played for very long. I watched it a million times while it was there because I super loved it, and I still do. And I'm glad HBO Max has it there so that people can watch it and revisit, and y'all can start requesting something different. Because it happened.
Because I think we put Airheads into people's heads.
Yeah.
And now that we need that Brendan Fraser, Adam Sandler classic back.
Yes, and Steve Buscemi.
Steve Buscemi, my
We
neighbor.
need it.
Yes.
We need it. Release Airheads, you cowards.
Cowards. Everybody help us with that.
What is your favorite Christian Slater movie?
Oh, shit. Tell me yours. Let me think.
Because I know how much I love Heathers, and I would love to rewatch True Romance, because I really loved True Romance when I saw
I
it.
haven't seen that in a while.
I saw it in the theater, obviously, and I've seen it a few times since then, but I feel like if I rewatched it, I would fall in love with it all over again. But the truth is, my heart is Pump Up the Volume. I just fucking love this movie. It checks a lot of boxes for me. There's no shame in my game. I
No.
super love it. It's my favorite.
I'm looking at his. Okay, so Robin Hood, Broken Arrow. No.
We did an episode on Robin Hood, by the way. So if people,
Dr. Death, Dirty John. He's in all those, like,
yeah,
he's in a million things. Oh my God.
he had a nice career resurgence.
Yeah. He's in a lot of cartoon stuff. He has a good, he's in Hot Tub Time Machine 2. God, I fucking hated Hot Tub Time Machine.
All right, this is why you and I are friends. My sister, who's listening, I'm sure, to this episode right now, loves Hot Tub Time Machine. Told me it was so funny, and I watched it, and I was like, "This?
Yeah.
Really?" I actively disliked it.
No, I hate it.
So I didn't see
think
the
it's
second one.
Yeah, I think it's there's just a lot that's wrong with that movie. Okay, I guess I'm gonna have to say Pump Up the Volume, because I can't.
Yes.
I'm looking at a million roles that he's in. I mean, he's Hollow Man 2. What?
What? No.
Alias.
He was on
Wind
Alien.
Talkers. Yeah, Zoolander. I've never seen Zoolander.
Zoolander's really, really funny.
We should put that on the list.
Yeah. I'm like, anytime you want to talk about
The
Zoolander.
Contender.
Oh yes, duh. Of course. If you ever want to hear old school Sonia and Margo, that might have been your first appearance on the show. We did an episode on The Contender.
We also did an episode on Interview with the Vampire.
Yes, we did.
And he's in that one. He's the writer.
Yep.
Cuffs with a K. Mobsters.
By the way,
my God.
Patrick Bromley is like the world's biggest fan of Cuffs, and he'll defend it at any chance he gets.
Of course he is.
Of course he is.
Mobsters, remember that with Richard Grieco? There's like a
Yes.
Grieco sighting on one of the girls has a poster of Grieco.
I
Young Guns 2.
I really like the Young Gun movies. They're
Me too.
I don't think they're good movies. I super
No,
like
but
them.
they're fucking. Oh, Tucker, the man in his
Dream.
dream.
Yeah.
Jesus, he's worked a lot.
He's worked a
He
lot.
was in Ryan's Hope.
He was also in The Legend of Billie Jean, right?
Fair is fair.
That's right.
That's a
He's
great
there with
movie.
his. I think Helen Slater his sister.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's the hero, Billie Jean. She cuts her hair.
Yep. That movie's been on our list forever.
That's a bananas film.
The movie is bananas.
Yeah. I'd love to talk. I'd love to talk about that sometime.
Yeah. And I fully admit, like, Heathers and True Romance are by far like superior movies. But if you put all like Heathers, Pump Up the Volume, and True Romance side by side and was like, pick one to watch, I would pick Pump Up the Volume every time. I just super love it.
I would pick Heathers.
Heathers is great. I love
Yeah.
Heathers. All three of those movies are super dope.
Yeah, I remember seeing that in the theater and just hearing about it. I think I've heard about it on TV or something. And then I was like, oh my God, this is the joke that they're killing these kids. And I remember looking like other people in the audience, like, holy shit, like this is it.
We should do Heathers really soon.
We definitely, I'm sure there's some very problematic things in there.
For sure, but it's also super entertaining. And
Yeah.
And no doubt.
Funny.
And it clicked for us in a way that probably a lot of, I don't know, teenagers could watch it now and it's not going to click for them the way it clicked for us when it first came out. Do you want to hear?
What was that?
Calvin. Okay, Calvin, help yourself.
Was your son?
That was Calvin, everybody. Calvin would like everyone to know he's helping himself to a cupcake.
Good on you, Calvin.
I know, right? Other movies that came out the same month as Pump Up the Volume.
Yep, please.
Okay. You already said it. Young Guns 2.
Woohoo! Blaze of Glory.
Blaze of Glory. That's a good karaoke song if you're all looking to karaoke something. Mo Better Blues.
I saw that for the first time a few months ago for my book.
And how was it?
It's okay.
Yeah, I remember I saw it and I was like, it's fine. Like I wasn't
It's fine, but
I wasn't super into it, but I remember really
it's very quiet.
Liking the soundtrack.
The soundtrack, it's a jazz soundtrack, and it's Denzel, who's gorgeous.
Yes.
And it's beautifully shot. It's just that, what's the movie I'm thinking of? Spike Lee. He just done the year before, Do the Right Thing.
Yeah.
So I remember like, I love Do the Right Thing. And I was like, I can't wait to see another, and then I was like, ooh,
Yeah.
it's just very quiet.
Yeah. The soundtrack, we had it on CD or whatever, and we played it at the theater, like in between movies. We play music, and I think we had it there, and I just remember thinking like it was a good soundtrack. So yeah, it was fine. Air America. Do you
I
remember
haven't seen that in a long time.
It's like Robert Downey Jr. and Mel Gibson.
Gibson.
I wish he died in the plane crash in that movie. It's not good. I didn't like it at the time. We did an episode on this one. Flatliners.
Oh my God. That was fun. That's a fun episode.
It was a really fun episode. We did that one with Adam Risky from F This Movie. So if you want to hear us talk about Flatliners, we had so much fun talking about it. The Two Jakes.
That's the sequel to
Chinatown.
Chinatown.
Yep.
I don't remember it being memorable. Ugh,
Exactly.
That's not a sentence.
Sure it is. No, the movie was boring. The Exorcist 3.
No,
I'm like, that's a thing that exists. Some people super love The Exorcist 3, by the way. My Blue Heaven.
My Blue. Okay, it's got one great line. It's Steve Martin plays this mafioso type that is sent to the suburbs.
Yes.
And he has to like fit in, and he's just really overdoing, it's like right after Goodfellas and stuff. And my favorite thing is he's mowing the lawn and he's like yells across and goes, "Hey buddy, great day for a mow." And I don't know why that cracks me up. But you have to picture Steve Martin doing it. It's fucking hilarious.
It's Steve Martin and Rick Moranis, right?
Yeah,
God,
it's.
I love them.
Yeah, I love them. It's cute. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's silly. It's of its time.
There was a movie called Taking Care of Business.
That's Jim Belushi.
Yes. Oh my God, I'm so proud of you for remembering that one.
I think Paul Mazursky's daughter wrote it.
Oh,
I worked on Paul Mazursky's autobiography.
That's right.
R.I.P. He was a great guy.
Yeah. There was a time where Hollywood was trying to make Jim Belushi a movie star, and this was one of his movies. And he also
Did they?
The Principal was the other one.
I do like The Principal. It's so stupid, but I do kind of enjoy it. But he's also in Red something or other with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, Red Heat.
Red Heat. Not a great movie.
No.
He's funny in Trading Places. Where he's dressed up as, he loses his clothes and he's in his underwear. And
That's
he's
right.
Like, hey, look what happened to me.
Yeah, see, Jim Belushi, he needs a supporting role. He needs he needs to be in a, he was in something recently, one of the TV shows, I think. Maybe was he in the Twin Peaks reboot? That's what it was.
That.
Anyway, Jim Belushi was the thing. Wild at Heart, by the way, came out in August 90.
David Lynch.
Yep.
Laura Dern. Yeah, Nick Cage.
Yep. I think I might like that movie more now if I rewatched it. I liked it at the time, but
I liked it fine.
I think I would like it even more now. I should rewatch it. Dark Man.
Oh, that's not a good one.
I rewatched that one for This Movie Fest, and I got a little bored. It wasn't for me. And then the last one I'm going to mention is Men at Work.
That's the Estevez and Sheen boys. Yeah.
Yes. Emilio Estevez, Charlie Sheen. Not my fave.
Emilio directed and wrote it.
I didn't like.
Yeah. No, and he stole a joke from Better Off Dead, where because they play garbage men, and there's a scene where one of them gets stuck in the garbage thing in the back of the garbage truck, and he says, "Oh, it's a shame when somebody throws away a perfectly good white boy."
Fuck that
and they
movie.
stole that from Better Off Dead because that was funnier in Better Off Dead.
Yes.
Which we
Also,
can't get it.
Release Better Off Dead on streaming, you cowards.
We need it.
Okay.
So do you want to hear about top songs of the summer of 1990? That's when this one came out.
Yes.
These are just randomly picked. Vanilla Ice, Ice Baby. Couldn't get away from it.
Couldn't get away from it is a fucking hit everywhere.
Paula Abdul, Opposites Attract. I love Paula Abdul.
I love Paula Abdul, and I loved that album, Forever Your Girl.
Forever Your Girl.
Yep.
The best. This is also great. Mariah Carey, Vision of Love.
I love that album too. I was all in on Mariah Carey.
These are almost all women here. Sinead O'Connor, Nothing Compares to You.
That's a beautiful song.
Beautiful, beautiful song. Madonna, Justify My Love. Remember that trash?
What I remember was them making fun of it on SNL with Wayne and Garth, and it made the song worth it just to have that spoof of it.
Janet Jackson, Black Cat.
Janet Jackson still is dope. If you haven't watched the documentary about Janet Jackson, it's good.
On Lifetime.
Yep.
And New Kids on the Block, Step by Step. Oh, baby.
I wasn't super into New Kids on the Block. And I'm not trying to say that like, I'm so cool. I wasn't into New Kids on the Block. I think I was like just a little too old. Like I just missed the...
No, it was for younger girls.
Like my sister really liked the New Kids on the Block. Like,
who was her favorite?
Hanging tough. I don't know who her favorite was. I bet it was Donnie.
Yeah. Donnie.
Fuck Donnie. He's married to Jenny McCarthy. They're both trash.
I like him on that Wahlburgers show. Did you ever see that?
No, I didn't.
Their brother is a chef. There's like 7 Wahlburgers boys, or Wahlberg boys.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a show where he was opening these restaurants across the country, and they were Wahlburgers, and they had wall sauce. And I dragged my poor mother to the one in Coney Island when that opened, and we got to meet him.
Oh,
and he was really nice.
Oh,
yeah,
well, that's
really
good.
Sweet.
I'm sure he's perfectly nice. I just don't like Jenny McCarthy for obvious reasons.
Oh, you know what? But I'll tell you something. You go anywhere, like any premiere or anything, because it's happened a couple of times. If I go anywhere with my mom and I just say, "Oh, I'm bringing my mother with me," people immediately are much nicer.
For sure,
and
I could see.
And
that.
my mom was a sweetheart, so yeah,
that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
What else are you dorking out about?
Sonia?
Yes.
I'm dorking out about a lot of things.
I can't wait.
So,
tell me all of them.
We might have extra ads in this one, you guys. I'm sorry. I got to talk. I don't know where to begin. I'm going to start with a book, and it's about V.C. Andrews. And Virginia Andrews, she wrote all like the what's the first one?
The Flowers in the Attic.
Flowers in the Attic. Then there's Petals on the Wind.
Yes.
And these are filthy books we read. And this woman, she's very inspiring because her real story is that she was almost handicapped. She definitely had physical issues. She was basically stuck in a wheelchair by the time she was in her 40s. She had a lot of health issues.
Oh, I didn't
And she
know
had
that.
a lot of issues with a mother that was overbearing, which totally, if you read these books, you totally get that. But she wrote her first book at 56.
Wow.
And it was this huge bestseller, and she basically was set for life. Sadly, she died like less than 10 years later from cancer. And then they basically have all these different writers writing for V.C. Andrews. But her life story is crazy. It's been a really fun read. So I'm reading that.
That's a good one.
I just finished HBO Max and Just Like That.
Ooh, and
it's been my hate watch for the last 3 months. And if you've been hate watching it too, I recommend you go to YouTube and you follow Real Housewives recaps, because every episode she would just talk about it.
Oh, nice.
It's a nice companion to that. Good thing on HBO that I like very much. I don't know if you've been watching it, but The Gilded Age.
I haven't started it yet.
It's really.
Ooh,
I like it.
Okay.
If you liked Downton Abbey, and you like, I mean, I'm a New Yorker, so this is all fun for me, but it has Cynthia Nixon, but not in a bad wig like she is, and Just Like That. Somebody on Twitter has a handle. It's Hobbs Wig. She has the worst wig in the world. Anyway, but in this movie, it's got Carey Coon and Christine Baranski.
National treasure.
National treasure. Yes. Yeah. And then I saw the Gucci movie last night with Lady Gaga.
Did you like it?
Was it worth $20? I think I own it though.
Yes, now you own it. It's on
Apple. I own it. I'm gonna watch it again. It's batshit, and the accents are all over the place.
I'm fine with that. I really, really like Lady Gaga. I think she's fucking really. She's just such a good actress. She's so watchable to me.
Yeah, and she's a terrible person in this movie.
Yeah, but strangely, I'm like, well, yeah.
Why did we have to hire Jared Leto and then put him in a fat suit and a bald thing?
You know what?
They couldn't hire a character actor to do that part that looks like that.
I know that like people.
It's distracting.
Yeah, people are loving the performance, and like, for me, it's not working because the whole time I'm just like, that's Jared Leto doing a thing. It's not working for me.
He's a hot guy underneath all that.
Yeah,
all that
I was like, it doesn't
latex.
work for me.
Yeah, and then finally, what does work for me, Sonia? Yeah. Hulu, Pam and Tommy Lee.
That's also on my list.
Oh my God, did you watch it yet?
No.
Oh, there's 3 episodes as of this taping, and then from there they're going to make it a weekly show. I'm fucking in.
Are you serious? It's going to be a weekly show?
Like 10 episodes.
I didn't know that. Damn. Okay. I'm in. I'm going to watch it. Like
it's Seth Rogen as an executive producer, and it's the true-ish story of Tommy Lee and Pamela Anderson. Pamela Anderson's not that into it. She feels a little, I mean, I kind of struggle with that because she's really, but look, she's a part of the culture. People are going to, that's going to happen.
Have you seen the tape?
Of course, didn't you?
Yeah, I saw it too.
It was weird. We had a party in my roommate and I And it got really weird like 20 minutes in or so. Like, I think the third or fourth time we played, I'm like, I'm really uncomfortable seeing his dick now. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
It's impressive.
I was at, oh my God, former Dorking Out co-host Smith. Like, I was visiting him down in LA with his roommates and stuff. And they're like, we have the tape. And I was like, well, I gotta see it.
Yeah.
And like, so we were all just like hanging out and it was just on. Like, you know, we weren't like sitting there like watching it like a movie, but it was on. And I was like, oh my God.
It's not like porn because there's a lot of like, I love you too.
So much I love you. So
they were on
much
their
I love you.
honeymoon.
Yeah.
They're actually really cute. Like you could kind of see
They were into each other.
They loved each other. I know. Look, it happened a long time ago. It's just the way. I mean, nowadays people put out sex tapes and then like a month later they're on Letterman or whatever. Not Letterman. What am I talking about? You're on with Jimmy Kimmel and you're goofing on yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. This is before Kim Kardashian was a thing and Paris Hilton and all of that. So,
but the actors Sebastian Stan and Lily Taylor.
Not Lily. Lily James.
Lily James. Fucking amazing and look just like them and sound like them, and she has like a breastplate and he has a talking penis.
Wait, I'm sorry, what?
He had his dick talks in the movie.
Oh,
and it's
shit.
Jason Mantzoukas who plays this dick voice. It's amazing. It's the best thing that's happened to me.
Sold.
Man, trust me, it's so great.
For people who don't know either, Sebastian Stan, he plays the Winter Soldier, yes?
Yes.
Fucking hot. So
he's
hot.
Part of the Marvel universe, and he's gorgeous. And Tommy Lee's really good looking too. I mean, but he's got like, the tattoos on his stomach, and you could just tell like he has ADD, and he's a child, and he's a spoiled rock star. And sometimes you hate him, and then you're kind of like, oh, he's kind of cute. You always like her. She seems very genuine. I'm not going to say anymore. You're going to see this.
Okay, I am going to watch it. I have things to recommend
Not with your
too.
son.
No. Calvin, you want to watch this movie with me? What could possibly go wrong? I have something else to recommend that's on HBO Max. Is the new Bridget Everett show, Somebody Somewhere.
I need to start watching that.
It's so good. First of all, she's awesome. She's just a delight. It's a comedy. It has serious parts as well. She's like living in a small town in Kansas with her, and her family's nearby. She had moved back to town to take care of her sister who was dying. And now she's just staying there, and she's very sad, and she's trying to figure out what she wants to do next. And so she's working as like a grader for standard testing, and she discovers like an underground church. What are they calling it? Choir practice. It's called choir practice, but it's just this kind of underground group that's getting together, and she starts singing. And if you haven't seen Bridget Everett sing, she's awesome. She's so fun.
I've seen her live. She's amazing.
Yeah. It's really good. Like I'm into it. I'm all in. And it's already been renewed for a second season. So
all right, I'm going to watch it.
Get in on that. And then over on Apple TV or Apple Plus, they've got something called After Party with, it's a comedy, and it's Tiffany Haddish, Ben Schwartz, Elena Davis, the one from Broad City. Shit. What's her name? Broad City. I'm looking it up because I want to make sure I get her name right. I'm sorry. Ilana Glazer.
Yes.
It is set in, there's a high school reunion. I think it's like a 15-year or 10-year high school reunion in Marin County. So it's like Bay Area. So maybe that it checks a little box there for me. Oh, and Dave Franco plays like a rock star, like a Justin Bieber type who also comes back.
Oh, that sounds okay. I'm going to watch this tonight.
He comes back to town for the reunion. They all go to the after party at his place where, and this isn't a spoiler, he ends up dead. And Tiffany Haddish plays the police detective, and she's questioning each of the people who were at the party. and they each have different versions of the night's events, and it's really, really funny. It's just funny as fuck. Like Ben Schwartz, who played John Ralphio on Parks and Rec, like he always makes me laugh. Elena Glazer, she's in the newest episode. I haven't seen her episode yet, but she's really, really funny. And then the guy from the Mindy Project, Ian, what's his name?
I'm sorry, I didn't watch the Mindy Project.
Mindy
I'm sorry.
Project. I'm looking it up because he plays like a possessive.
Is this a weekly show or is it a movie?
It's weekly.
Oh,
and there's
that's even
already
better.
I'm sorry, Ike Barnholtz.
Oh, I know who that is.
Yeah. And it's really funny, like, because they just have their different versions, right? And each of their versions, they're awesome. Because they're like, yeah, everyone loves me, and like every joke I told lands. And the guy who plays Ben Schwartz, the character Ben Schwartz plays, his is all a musical, and he's like singing, and like, it's just they all have these like really beautiful versions of their own stories. It's really, really funny. So everyone,
what's it called again?
After Party.
After Party. I'm gonna watch that. I don't know if to start watching that tonight. Maybe I'll watch Gucci Movie again. I think it is watchable.
Yeah, it's super watchable. I mean, she's really great. I love Adam Driver too, so he's doing a thing.
Yeah.
You got Al Pacino in there.
Pacinoing it up.
Yeah. Who Patrick Bromley said something on his show about House of Gucci is the Godfather, but everybody's Fredo.
Oh, he's so clever.
And I was like, that sounds right. That sounds about right. It's real good. And then I also watched Nightmare Alley, which
I gave up on it.
Everyone's really good in it. It's Bradley Cooper. It's Toni Collette, who I love. Kate Blanchett's in there. David Strathairn's in there.
Oh, they are. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I tapped out.
Was it Mara Rooney? Is that?
Rooney Mara?
Yeah, see, I flipped her name. I knew it. I knew I flipped her name. Everybody is Willem Dafoe is in there. There's all these really good people, and they're all doing a good job. And the movie looks good, but I was kind of bored, and I wonder if I was bored because I've seen the original. So, like, the story to me, I was like, yeah, like, I've seen it. And I love the original. I think it's great. And it's
on Criterion.
It's on Criterion right now, and it's not nearly as long. So if you're looking for the shorter version of Nightmare Alley, go to the Criterion channel. I really wanted to like it because I like Guillermo del Toro movies, and this one just didn't do it for me. So I was kind of disappointed.
I had to tap out like 15, 20 minutes in. I'm like, this is just not going to be a thing for me. I mean, maybe I'll try again, but if it gets nominated, when are the Oscar nominations happening?
Oh my God, I think that's next week.
So we'll see how.
Yeah.
I try to see the movies if they're nominated.
Me too. And I'm also watching for the first time ever RuPaul's Drag Race, which is delightful.
It's delightful.
Yeah. People have been recommending the show to me for years, and I just never had the time to watch it. And finally I was like, I'm going to make the time. And I'm glad I did. It's great. I love it.
They're very supportive of each other.
Exactly. It's the same reason I love Great British Baking Show.
Yeah. All the contestants really are there for each other, and it's very sweet. It's whimsical, and I like it, which is, you don't love yourself, how the hell are you going to love anyone else?
And they have great guest judges. So like Lizzo was a judge, and Alicia Keys was a judge. I'm really, really enjoying it. And I'm stoked that there are like 13 other seasons that I've never seen, and I don't know who won because I never pay attention to that stuff. So I can just watch it forever.
Where is it streaming?
I'm watching it on Hulu.
Oh, Hulu's been great lately.
Hulu's been so good. Thank you, Hulu.
The gods of Hulu.
Yes. Between this and the fact that I still watch Dateline, it's totally worth it to me. And now Pam and Tommy Lee.
Pam and Tommy Lee. And there's a bunch of true crime stuff there that's really good. Yeah.
So good. It's real good. Where can people find you on the internet, Margo?
You can find me at Harry Hardon. No.
Everybody knows.
At Brooklyn Fitchick for Twitter and Instagram. My site is brooklynfitchick.com, and I am on TikTok at Margo Donahue.
And if you like the sound of our voices, and I assume you do if you've made it this far, we also co-host a podcast called What a Creep, where we talk about creeps of the past and the present, and then we end every episode with someone who's not a creep, so you don't think the whole world is a dumpster fire. We're having so much fun there. It has a secret podcast group or like Facebook group if you want to join. And there's some dorks there too. So feel free.
And our latest episode is about the Mormon bomber, Mark Hoffman. And Sonia sings a Mormon commercial, and it's amazing.
Nobody wants to hear that.
No, it's great. It's so entertaining. We record the show now, like watching each other. We use different streaming apps, so now we can actually see each other, and you were just like dancing and like acting it out for me.
I was
fun. You were.
I should take some singing lessons. I bet our listeners would appreciate it.
Yeah.
You can find me at thesoniashow.com, where I hardly ever sing, and I do you can find me there on Twitter and Instagram, and also on TikTok, where I actually put out videos every couple of weeks. And if you like what you're hearing and want to give us a review on any of your platforms that you listen to podcasts on, that would be fabulous. It helps us find our people. And you can email us at dorkingoutShow@gmail.com, and we could send you some stickers. They are super cute.
Mm-hmm.
And we also take requests. This one was a request, so please give us requests. We love it. But don't ask for Airheads or Better Off Dead. They're not streaming.
We want them too.
Yes.
We want them too. Also, make sure it's streaming. It has to be streaming.
Yes.
I don't have a DVD player. I'm especially not going to use a VHS tape. Like, it's got to be something that we can get to. So
and we want everyone to be able to watch it and follow along. So if you're requesting something super weird that is not streaming, not that Airheads or Better Off Dead is weird, but you know what I mean. We want everyone.
They're amazing.
They are
want
amazing.
everyone to see it. Yeah.
Spoilers for those episodes, but we're going to love them.
I'll be quoting them quite a bit. I should also warn you, on Instagram, I post a lot of pictures of my cats.
They are the cutest cats in Brooklyn.
They are the cutest cats in Brooklyn.
Fact. Thanks for dorking out about Pump Up the Volume with me. I am so glad that it finally happened. Hopefully for everyone, it was worth the wait.
It was totally worth the wait, and I'm going to masturbate really loudly right now. To see
Everybody knows.